As I drove home late one night, the road stretched out like a black ribbon under the moonless sky. The faint glow of my headlights barely cut through the oppressive darkness. After a long, grueling day at work, the solitude of the drive was both a blessing and a curse. Just as I began to settle into the rhythm of the road, I noticed the flickering lights of a gas station up ahead. The neon sign buzzed and hummed, casting an eerie glow over the otherwise desolate landscape. I decided to pull over and fill up the tank. As I pulled up to the pump, a dense fog rolled in out of nowhere, enveloping the station and the road beyond. It was so thick I could barely see a few feet ahead of me. After filling the tank, I got back into the car and continued my journey, but something felt off. The fog grew thicker, almost solid, and the world outside my windshield seemed to blur and distort. It was as if reality itself was bending and twisting around me. I drove on, the fog refusing to dissipate. After what felt like hours, I passed the same gas station again. The neon sign flickered with the same uneasy hum, and the fog remained just as dense. My heart raced as I realized I was stuck in some kind of loop, repeating the same stretch of road over and over. Panic set in as I continued to drive, hoping for some change, some break in the monotony, but every time I ended up right back at that infernal gas station. I tried different routes, turning at every opportunity, but no matter what I did, I always returned to the same place. As the hours dragged on, my mind began to fray. Strange shapes moved in the fog, shadowy figures that seemed to be watching me. Their forms were indistinct, but their presence was undeniable. I could feel their eyes on me, a cold, malevolent gaze that sent shivers down my spine. In a desperate attempt to break free, I got out of the car and walked into the fog, hoping to find something, anything that could help. The world around me was silent, the fog muffling all sound. I walked for what felt like miles, the oppressive stillness pressing in on me from all sides. And then I saw them. Monstrous shapes, grotesque and twisted, emerging from the fog. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light, and their bodies were a nightmarish amalgamation of sinew and shadow. They moved with an eerie grace, circling me, closing in. I turned and ran, my breath coming in ragged gasps, but no matter how fast I went, the monsters were always just behind me. The fog seemed to thicken, slowing my movements, sapping my strength. I stumbled and fell, the ground beneath me cold and unyielding. The monsters were upon me now, their eyes burning into mine. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the fog. Just as one of the creatures reached out a clawed hand, I felt a sudden jolt and everything went black. I awoke in my car, the sun just beginning to rise. The fog had lifted, and the gas station was gone. I was parked on the side of a deserted road, my car's engine idling. I looked around, disoriented, but there were no signs of the horrors I had encountered. With a trembling hand, I put the car in gear and drove away, the memory of that night seared into my mind. I don't know what I encountered on that foggy road or how I escaped, but I do know one thing: some roads are better left untraveled and some mysteries are better left unsolved.